use some logic and play big deal, no deal.
Big deal. No deal.
If that's possible. Brought to you by Brady Industries, a provider of commercial cleaning supplies and equipment throughout the western United States for over 65 years. Brady Industries, clean solutions, a tradition for generations. Number one.
Big deal, no deal. Big 12 coaches want BYU in.
Big deal. They don't vote, but it gives you an idea of what the perception is at those individual schools. BYU received 5 votes out of the 12. Now, this was for the top candidate. This wasn't for 2 to 4 teams. This was the number one. It was BYU and Houston.
Now, wait. 5 votes out of the 12 or 5 votes out of the 10?
Sorry, out of the 10.
So half.
Because it would make sense that you'd have 12 teams if your conference is Big 12.
Correct.
But 10. Yeah, 10.
50% voted, yep, BYU should be in.
Or maybe it was 4-4 with Houston. I can't remember.
Regardless, they're one of the favorites to be included. I think this is a very big deal because any momentum that BYU can get built behind it, whether it be coming from coaches or media members or politicians or whoever, it all starts to weigh on the Big 12. And maybe it's already weighed so heavily that the Cougars are being considered as in right now. Are they number 11? Are they the 11th team? That possibility also exists. Number 2.
Big deal, no deal. Texas Governor Greg Abbott tweets this morning, Big 12 expansion is a non-starter unless it includes the University of Houston.
Oh.
This is a big deal because the last time this happened, BYU was left out. Ann Richards in the 90s, the Big 8 expanded to 12. BYU was left out, although they possibly were going to be included in that. They were not. So I'm going to change my answer. It's not a big deal. I'm going to say no deal because this time they're adding a group of 5-ish teams, right, that are outside of the state of Texas with the exception of Houston. So there's a chance, even if Houston gets in, that BYU also gets in.
This is a big deal just because it's the governor of Texas. This is a person with a lot of political clout. And this was a calculated move and a calculated tweet, knowing that 20 years ago, something like this had an impact. Obviously, Greg Abbott wants Houston in the Big 12. So I think this is a big deal that he feels like he needs to use his political stance to lobby for a school. Yeah, it's a big deal. Number 3.
Big deal, no deal. BYU will play 3 other Utah schools in a 3-year round-robin tourney in Salt Lake City?
No deal. BYU is already playing these schools every year. And, in fact, a home game and a road game is better than a neutral game. I think it's kind of fun. I don't think it's a big deal, though. BYU and Utah will play a neutral side game. BYU was already playing some neutrals with Utah State, Weber State as well. So it takes away some fun home games potentially in the future. That's my knock on it.
I say this is no deal. It would be a big deal to me if all of these teams played each other in a tournament-style format.
That would be awesome.
Now,
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah, if it were a 2-day tournament where, like, okay, we're going to match you up, the winners will play each other, and the losers will play each other, I think that would be
like for state champ.
Way more fun.
That would be fun.
A 2-day
if it was a 2-day
tournament.
This is a nice start. BYU Utah neutral. It's in Salt Lake. That's not neutral.
Take it to the next step, and then I will think it's a big deal. Number 4.
Big deal, no deal. Kyle Collinsworth signs a 2-year, partially guaranteed contract with the Dallas Mavericks.
I'm going to go no deal. The big deal is that Kyle Collinsworth is getting like 6 figures or something.
Wait, how can
possibly.
you say no deal?
Because he still has to make the team. Partial guarantee is the guarantee is the money. The partial is you might not make the team. We can cut you and we just pay you that, right? I think he's overachieving with this, by the way. I didn't see him as an NBA player. I hope that Kyle Collinsworth makes the 15-man roster, but he still needs to do that to ensure a spot. But he's getting paid. That's the big deal.
I do see Kyle Collinsworth as an NBA player because the Dallas Mavericks have invested money in him. They think that he has the potential to play in the NBA. So
There's many guys that get an investment that don't play.
We don't know the particulars, other than we know that Kyle's going to get paid. And I am assuming
that's awesome for him.
That most guys that get a 2-year partially guaranteed contract aren't getting the numbers that Kyle is getting. And I'm citing a behind-the-scenes source that I believe in a lot with that.
The most important thing here is he going to be on the Mavs or not, right?
I think Kyle Collinsworth will be an NBA player.
Personally, it's cool that he gets paid.
Why can't he be Grievous Vasquez? And guess what? Ben Simmons can't shoot from outside either. Why can't Kyle Collinsworth?
Do not compare Kyle Collinsworth to Ben Simmons, dude.
I'm
not
not
make
saying that he
comparison.
is Ben Simmons, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying is Ben Simmons can't shoot. So the knock that, well, he can't shoot from the outside. So there are a lot of guys that can't shoot from the outside that still have a spot in the NBA. If you're
Yeah.
versatile
If you're
and you can do a lot
6'10".
of things, Kyle Collinsworth is 6'6" and athletic. Why are we taking that away from him? I think this is a big deal because he's living a dream, and a ton of people said he wouldn't even get a serious look in the NBA. Well, how do you like him now? Number 5.
Big deal, no deal. Nerd alert. Star Trek Beyond comes out tomorrow.
I'm not sure this. I go no deal because J.J. Abrams didn't direct it. J.J. did the first 2, and they were really good. One of the dudes that did one of the Fast and the Furious Eye, did Star Trek Beyond. I'm not feeling it with this one, and I enjoyed those movies.
Yeah, I say no deal. It took me a long time. I mean, I loved the J.J. Abrams movies once I watched them, but because I'm with you, because he's not doing it, I trust in J.J. Abrams. I say
In
no
J.J.
deal.
we trust.
No deal on this. He was awesome with the Star Wars movie too. Man,
Fast and Furious.
Fast and
Little did you know
Fury-eye?
that the plural of Furious is Furious.
There are 7, right?
Yeah.
So what's
They're
the
coming out
number?
with
Like,
8.
there's a
8's in progress.
trilogy. There's a trilogy. What's the number? What's the word for 7?
We're in sports broadcasting, dude. Quintilogy?
The quintilogy.